Lachlan, let's talk about A Different Man from Aaron Schimberg. This one premiered at the Sundance Film Festival this year, and then we kind of had to wait for it to play at other festivals until it finally is now out on streaming, so everyone can go check it out. A lot of people were saying that, Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice playing Trump, this is the exciting thing that he's doing this year. They haven't seen A Different Man yet, because he's a whole different man in A Different Man. We also got Renate Reinsve and Adam Pearson in it, and it tells the story of aspiring actor Edward, who undergoes a radical medical procedure to drastically transform his appearance, but his new dream face quickly turns into a nightmare as he loses out on the role he was born to play and becomes obsessed with reclaiming what he has lost. I think this is a movie that definitely benefits as soon as you end it on saying, I gotta see this again to kind of see all of the crumbs that were laid out to you. And I gotta say, I didn't completely get everything they were doing, because some of it is almost going into the fantasy realm of how is this possible? And it's okay, this is the idea that they put forward, and that's really interesting. Okay, it kind of went by in a flash, just in one conversation. I had a great time with this. I gotta say, I haven't done the rewatch yet. I definitely want to. I gotta hear from you, Lachlan. What did you think of A Different Man?
I was a little bit shocked, honestly. I didn't really know what to expect from A Different Man. It definitely wasn't what I sort of expected, in the sense that I didn't realize I was going to laugh that much because of the absurdist style of comedy that they decide to go down, the ridiculousness of the situations that Edward finds himself in is hilarious. And for me, that is probably one of the best parts of this is the fact that I did not expect it to be an absurdist comedy. I did not expect it to be something that pokes fun of something so serious. And that to me was super exciting. I think Sebastian Stan absolutely nails this role, and I think that unfortunately, because there's still a lot of big movies with big names, I don't think he's gonna make it into the Oscar race, but I think that this is probably one of his most complex and exciting roles he has taken on, post MCU. There was Fresh, was it last year or the year before, that I thought was actually really good.
Yeah.
And I think that in The Apprentice, he does a fantastic job as well. But with A Different Man, I was truly taken back by what he does. And that is not just him. That is also, is it Renate Reinsve?
I really like her as an actress. Obviously, Worst Person in the World was my favorite film of 2021.
Yeah.
I don't think if she completely works for me on the first watch, maybe she's better for me on the second watch.
So the reason I liked her is that her entire job was to make me hate her. And I fucking did. I could not.
Yeah.
Because at first I'm like, oh, love interest.
Sure.
Oh, actually, she's a piece of shit. And she's taken advantage of this situation. And I really enjoyed her. What seemed like manipulation towards Edward especially was super exciting for me. And for that, I absolutely adored everything that she did, because honestly, she was making me laugh so much. But there was no one that made me laugh more than Adam Pearson.
Because
he
was so great in this.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
But more than anything, it's just the calm, confident nature of that man just addressing Sebastian Stan, who as his character has gone through this procedure to become more confident, that he is oozing charisma through his fucking eyes, through his fucking teeth, just coming out. Every single word he says, it just sounds cool. Everything, he can just say the stupidest sentence and everyone's like, man, this guy is crazy, because obviously he oozes confidence from this unfortunate body that he was not able to control, that he was just dealt this card, but he fucking rocks it, and everyone's just like, this is crazy. And that made me fucking laugh. That, as soon as he came onto screen and he was just like, boom, oh, I'm sorry, I see that this role has already been taken
over.
Yeah. And I was just like, what?
Quietly,
Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, I did not see this. I did not see this coming with how crazy confident this character was. And I think that was the balance between Sebastian, Renate, and Adam all together were just perfect for me. And I kind of felt that was going to be the case, because I did see all of the press tour stuff before I saw the film, and they were really talkative between themselves in a lot of these interviews, and I felt that sort of relationship, that bonding that they've obviously gone through. And I feel like Sebastian Stan would have really talked to Adam to be like, hey man, this is something that you live with. Tell me. And I feel like they would have probably gotten really close, because Adam, as an actor, he is the case study for Sebastian Stan on what the background and what his life would have been like. Because Adam, everything that Sebastian Stan's character went through at the start of the movie, in terms of how people perceive him, how people judge him, how people look at him, treat him, etc., is something that Adam would have gone through. Like 100%.
Yeah.
I
and still is. It's just
and
his
still is for
experience,
sure.
Yeah.
And that, to me, like, there was all these crazy layers of just what is in reality, like it's a fucked up situation that he found himself in. Like, obviously this procedure doesn't exist, and he's found himself in a weird location. This is Edward, obviously a character, and each of these things that just keeps getting added on, and this spiral that he goes down, which to me was just engaging as a narrative to watch him rise up, or at least, or be rock bottom, rise up, which again, I'll probably get to something like this later on in Gladiator, but rock bottom, rise up, and then hit rock bottom again, and then try to start fighting everybody, because it doesn't, I think I took this out of my review, but one of the things I wrote but I took out was the fact that one of the things I realized about this film is it doesn't matter physically what you look like, and that could be, your race, your gender, all that jazz. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. And Edward is a bit of a piece of shit throughout this entire movie, and you're trying to make a likable character out of this piece of shit, and you're like, you want to feel bad for him, you want to make sure that he gets the life that he wants, but for whatever reason, and obviously because it's set from the perspective of him, you feel like Oswald, is a malicious character. You find him as the quote unquote antagonist, but you don't see, like, even though his actions seem genuine, you because the perspective that it's taken from Edward, you kind of feel like, is there a different motive here? Is there an alternative motive towards it? And then by the end, it's just like, no, he's just a good guy. Like, he's just a nice guy, and he's just cool. And it's just taken Edward all this time to realize that it doesn't matter what physically you appear. It's how you treat others and react to others, and play the cards that you are dealt in the best way you possibly can. So for me, all of that, and honestly, I think a shout out has to go to the cinematography, because I think it takes some really cool camera movement choices of at least for presenting the comedy, with the way it whip pans around and how it zooms in and out of particular characters' reactions or scenes. I think that comedy is fantastic as well. But I was just absorbed into Sebastian Stan's performance, and I think it was chef kiss, top tier.
Well, I also really like the way that they do the transition between the two. And like the prosthetic work there is like excellent. If this were
dude, body
another
horror.
year where the substance wasn't out, then
crazy.
This would be a contender.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I completely agree.
And you bringing up the press tour things. For me, I tried to kind of stay clear of trailers. I didn't really watch much of this, and I went into it thinking, okay, is this going to be because everyone was ended up talking about Sebastian Stan being really great in this and not as much Adam Pearson, and I thought, okay, are we at an early point doing the very Hollywood thing of having this character and then he switch it with someone who's seen as in beauty standards as someone more attractive, and he takes over as the lead, and the movie is kind of about that at the core, that no, we're not going to do that. We're going to tell a story of a character regardless of what they look like. That is going to be the core theming around it, because like the everything in theme and like in the story that they tell, like make a play about it, is about the experience of someone who
so funny.
It gets so meta in the layers, but it adds to it, not in service of just making pointing something out in the real world, but in service of the like character progression in what this is about, and that is just good writing overall. So shout out to Aaron Schimberg, I don't know how you say it, but he's also the writer of this, and he's worked with Adam Pearson before. He's also made features with him. I know I talked about this on Zurich Ghent recap, because Kevin also saw it, that he'll be seeking out another film of Schimberg that's called Chained for Life. That came out in 2018. So yeah, an interesting filmmaker, and I think a very good film that is going to go underwatched. I feel like just because there's a lot of like buzzier films out there that maybe take priority. I think this is a quite challenging film and like trying to make sense of what's actually going on. But like you said, it's also a very entertaining film.
Yeah.
I gave this an 8 out of 10. I think I can very much recommend it. And I think you'll join me on this, Lachlan.
I gave it a 4. I almost said 4.5. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm not giving it a 4.5. Sorry.
I went with the out of 10 rating there. So sorry,
Crazy.
I threw you off for.
You're right.
We're Letterboxd boys. Or I don't have the hat right here, but I do have a hat with Letterboxd on there. But
hats today.
yeah.
I just realized. Didn't realize.
Oh my god, yeah.
Didn't realize we were matching hats.